whatever. So what are your thoughts on the air raid? We can cover a couple of the guys on the list just in this section.
Yeah. 6, 7, 8 are all going to be part of this Cardinals offense because the general point I want to make before we dig specifically into the air raid is some of the biggest bargains in fantasy every year come because of a coaching change. We saw it 2 years ago where the Rams went literally worst to first in terms of total scoring and yardage. They went from 4,203 yards to 5,784 yards, over 100 yards more per game.
You will never see a more dramatic change than that. How long you watch football for, I don't think we'll ever see that.
Unbelievable. Again. 224 total points to 478 total points. More than double the total points they put up in a single season. So yes, we might not see anything that dramatic. Last year there wasn't anything as huge, but the Bears went 28th to 9th. The Colts went 30th to 8th. So we had a couple other big dramatic switches too, and a ton of it is a better scheme. And I think no one is set up for a more dramatic shift than the Cardinals, conveniently averaging just 14 points per game last year, dead last in the league, just pathetic. They really too could truly double that total, if not even more, with this Kliff Kingsbury air raid. Of course, it's an unknown. We don't know what's going to happen, and is it going to actually work? Is Kyler Murray too short? There's tons of questions, but I have faith, especially after talking to our guy Drew Hollingshead. I still think one of the must-listen interviews of this offseason. It's the unique type of content no one else has. You got to listen to that. He played under Kingsbury, raved about the guy, talked about how much of an offensive genius this guy is, and the stats back it up. 550 yards and nearly 42 points per game as a college coordinator. I get it. This is the NFL. The speed is different. There's different styles of plays. It might not pan out, but ultimately, if it does, and I think it will, it's going to be as dramatic as a shift. So that's kind of the general picture of coaching changes and the impact it can have. Now, who are the three players that you got to target in there? Well, number one's the engineer of the air raid. That's Kyler Murray. I have him at 80 overall, QB7, above Drew Brees, above Carson Wentz, above some guys like that, because I think he is going to absolutely explode. I've said this multiple times on the podcast. I think he's that 2019 like Mahomes, the guy you can get in round 10 that has everything set up for him. Individual talent-wise, his arm is unbelievable. He drops gorgeous balls all over the field, deep balls, intermediate. He can make the throws, but what's really exciting is the legs. So you can run. He's got 4.3 wheels, ran for 1,000 yards and 15 scores in college last year. So you got all these running quarterbacks like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson making waves because of just their legs. When you combine the arm and the leg points, and then you go out and draft, Andy Isabella, Hakeem Butler, just more and more speed to a cast that already featured my next two guys we're going to talk about, Christian Kirk and Larry Fitzgerald. It's a stacked weapons cabinet. You got all the individual talent you need. You got plenty of usage because the pace of this offense is going to be rapid fire. They said they want to run 90 plays a game, which is absolutely insane. I don't think they'll hit that number, but they're going to be flying up and down the field. He's going to chuck it about 50 times a game, which is unbelievable volume. Probably more pass attempts than anybody in the league coming for the Arizona air raid here. You got the scheme that he thrived in college. The reason he was the Heisman and the number one overall pick, he was in this air raid offense at Oklahoma, and he dominated. Kliff Kingsbury said, I'm going to draft this guy number one overall if I ever had the chance. He stayed true to his word. It's kind of like a perfect marriage. All the stars, you just see these things that are almost fatalistic. It's like that everything is aligning for this guy to explode. So Kyler Murray, I absolutely love him. Are you buying the hype? Do you think he's going to be as real as I think he's going to be?
As real, no. I mean, but that's kind of the nature of our, respective fantasy personalities. Like I see everything you're saying. I love the air raid potential, and I'm pulling for him. Yeah. I don't think that he is as obvious superstar like you're talking about as I've seen. I don't know, and I could be proven wrong. And if I'm proven wrong, then I'll almost be happy that I am. And it's not like I don't think he's going to be good. I just don't think I would put him as high as you do. I don't think I would reach for him there. On these things, when people are coming out like this, you tend to be in on the ground floor. I tend to be in on like the second floor because I was listening to you. So, no, I mean, it's not like I think anything you're saying is wrong. I'm a real, I got to see it to believe it type guy. Now, I will say last year I felt differently about Mahomes. I was like, man, this guy's going to light it up. But I think the biggest difference there wasn't specifically the level of talent I saw from Mahomes, which, in retrospect, it's like, yeah, man, this guy's just dripping talent out of every orifice of his body. It was much more the offense that I knew Mahomes was coming into.
Yeah.
I looked at this offense of the Chiefs, and I was like, man, Alex Smith is just lighting up the world in this offense. Look at this guy. I can't see any way they're going to be worse than this, and they're probably going to be way better. So that's why I was willing to commit to Mahomes the way that you were last year, a little more than I am with Murray. I'm just skeptical of shitty franchises all of a sudden becoming great, even though we've seen it before.
Yeah, I think it's a huge point. We've already seen Andy Reid's offense succeed for so many years, so you already had that box checked. Where we don't know if Kliff Kingsbury's air raid is going to translate. It's the bet on that actually happening. We don't know that that's guaranteed, so that's a good point. And we did see a Week 17 performance from Mahomes the year before as a rookie, where he came in, led a ballsy comeback against the Broncos. We had Chris Clark on after for the Locked On Chiefs and said this guy made throws I've never seen a quarterback make. So we had seen him do it on the NFL field, no matter how brief, which we don't have that benefit quite yet with Kyler Murray. That's why the preseason is going to be pretty exciting to watch. If they take the world by storm, and I don't imagine they'll show their biggest wrinkles in the preseason. No one ever does. But if they come out and they just rifle down the field the first drive of the game, and you're just like, all right, this is actually working, that would be a beautiful sight to see. In terms of if I believe in Murray, that means I probably believe in all his weapons too. Obviously, David Johnson is unbelievable. He can't be considered a bargain, though. He's going so high, but I'd take him at number 5 overall, no questions asked at this point. But Christian Kirk, I have at 58 overall, 23 spots higher than the experts, 25 higher than his ADP. And then Larry Fitzgerald, old man Fitz, 76 overall, 19 on the expert, 19 spots higher than the experts, 26 spots higher than the ECR. I don't know who's going to be the number one out of these guys. Kirk's definitely the better athlete at these stages of his career. He has experience in the air raid offense. He does all the routes well. He can be moved inside. He can be moved outside. That type of versatility is going to lead to great things. And Kirk's already been, quote unquote, the best receiver on the roster throughout the spring and training camp. So he's the guy I'm highest on, and I think has the highest ceiling. But I think Larry Fitz, you just never count that guy out. A reliable pair of hands, knows how to find soft spots in the defense. And this offense is all about just kind of creating space and feeling out the defense and kind of improvising when you need to. When you got a wily, crafty veteran and route runner like Larry Fitz, he's going to make some serious damage here in this offense. So the fact that you can get him, around pick 100, both these guys have 1,000-yard upside. I wouldn't be surprised if both of them do top 1,000 yards. It's not one of those things where it's going to be one or the other. There could be so much aerial pie here and so much valuable aerial pie here that I see both of them potentially being viable options. And I often find myself having both of them on my teams after I do best ball drafts. So I love both of them. I love Kyler Murray, and I'm just kind of declaring it. I'm all in on the air raid offense, and I can't wait to see what happens.